溶けてく夜明けにこれが最後の願いね Let's go! ネオンの絡む肌踊る影揺れるステップ流されるままにはにかむ横顔に遠くで響く鼓動探すほど見失い溶けてく夜明けにこれが最後の願いね嘘でもいいからみんなないものねだりね Let's go! 寂しげな言葉をつぶやく唇を音色と混ぜ合わせて消えてく人の波預ける指先に儚く揺れる光溶けてく夜明けにこれが最後の願いね嘘でもいいからみんなないものねだりね失われた声街に飲まれて霞んでいく笑顔遠くになる瞳曖昧な距離さえ甘くてほんの少しでもこの夜に酔わせて溶けてく夜明けにこれが最後の願いね嘘でもいいからみんなないものねだりね
What is up, everyone? Good day and good night, wherever you are, maybe good afternoon. Let me know if you can see and hear me all right. I think I hear the music. Yeah, it was a little bit faint there. I was a little bit worried, but I think it is playing. Welcome, everybody. I see some new names in the chat. Nick, I see you're saying it's your first time coming to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for checking it out. And thank you, everyone else, if it's your first time or if you are a recurring guest to the streams. Always nice to see you guys' faces in the chat. And also congrats to Kevin for his first trip or first time being in Japan. Super exciting. But yeah, as always, welcome to the stream, guys. It'll be a 2-hour stream, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. JST. And the first hour will be about Japanese language related questions. And then the second hour from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. will be about life in Japan related questions. And where you can ask those questions is right here. So I put the QR code on the screen, and I will also pin a comment in the chat. Your Japanese questions here. I think I have the link posted. Yeah, I believe I do. So let me just send that message. Pin. Okay. So you can either ask questions on the QR code on your screen or through the pinned comment in the chat. And while you guys are getting your questions in, we can just chill in the chat. And yo, Tokuyuu, 2 weeks are going by faster for you than any of us, aren't they? Yeah, a little bit deviant, and always nice to see your name in chat. Thanks for coming around. Yeah, it's always like, wow, like as soon as I finish the stream, it's like, like that was fun. That's good work. Time to get back to doing my editing, my daily life stuff. And like, I'm clear for doing streams for another 2 weeks. And then it always seems like the next stream just like comes out like immediately. It's like, it's supposed to be 2 weekends later, but it feels like it's the next weekend. But yeah, honestly, this one around felt like it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I've like chatted with you guys. So it felt appropriately like 2 weeks. And I'm glad to be back and chatting with you guys and hopefully answering some of your questions. And konnichiwa to you as well, Victor. And Ruk Zakar, glad I could help you out with your learning. And yeah, Edward, yeah, learning Hiragan off Japanese Pod 101. Definitely, yeah, that's one of the resources I recommend in my videos because they do a good job. They could just go through every single letter and they give you a mnemonic for each and every one of them. It's just like the best place to start as a beginner. Wish I found it when I was learning it. And Kevin, yeah, great to hear everything sounds good. Yeah, always a little paranoid that like I can hear myself, but like you guys can't. So glad that's working, and it seems like you guys can see me all right. Shinamahoso KTKR. I'm not sure what KTKR. Maybe TK is Tokuyuu. Nah, you're gonna have to tell me what that stands for. And Cloak, also hello, I'm also new. Your video inspired me to learn Japanese, and I'm even thinking of moving there myself maybe later in the future. That's awesome. That's great to hear, and I'm really happy to hear that my video could help you out or inspire you to learn Japanese. That's amazing. It's a long journey, but it's also a very rewarding one. You know, Japanese is a very difficult language to learn for pretty much anyone who doesn't speak Korean or Chinese. So it takes a while, but it's really rewarding. And I'm glad that my video could help inspire you to get started on your journey and potentially your journey as well as moving to Japan in the future. That's definitely super exciting. I mean, starting to learn Japanese was like the best decision I ever made in my life. And of course, it's led to me having this YouTube channel and then eventually moving to Japan myself. So hopefully you can get your own adventure started as well. And Nora, I have to ask you a lot of stuff about moving once the date comes closer. Of course, my beautiful mod Nora will officially be moving to Japan, moving back to Japan, I should say, because she was here last year. But yes, she will be moving here once again because she is a smart cookie. And yeah, of course, you are free to ask any questions you have about moving. And let me just refresh my inbox real quick. Looks like we got some questions. And KTKR kitakore, it's like net slang for when something you waited for or wanted happens. Kitakore. なるほど。Kitakore. ありがとう。勉強になりました。 See, I learn from these streams as much as you guys. So like, I mean, I'm here to like be the host and like answer any questions you guys have, but sometimes you guys teach me things. And I'm definitely not super well versed in internet slang. So, kita kore. Naruhodo. Arigato. That is interesting. I did not know that. All right, let me take a look through the questions. I think I need to refresh it because the inbox, sometimes it shows the wrong button, like it doesn't load properly. Okay, now it's here. Perfect. Okay, so first question. Were you confused with kedo and kara? So kedo and kara, I was never confused. So for those of you who don't know, so kedo is but and kara is therefore, essentially. You use it like because. I mean, I was never confused about like mixing them up because it's easy to associate like kedo is but and kara is so therefore in English. So I would never like mix them up in that sense. But the confusing part about it was there's no word in Japanese to mean because. And that really screwed with my brain. Like if you look up because in the dictionary, maybe I could try to like look it up here just for example. But if you look it up, you'll probably get naze nara, because. Yeah, there we go. So number one search result, naze nara. So you look up because, and like it's a very common word to look up. Like we say because all the time in English, but naze nara, you just don't really use it in Japanese. And it sounds very formal, I guess you could say. I don't think I've ever used it ever, period. And I don't hear Japanese people say it either. And it's because when you say kara, it means so therefore. So you have to switch the order of your sentences essentially when you're speaking in Japanese, if you're used to saying because. Like if you're saying like, I'm going out today because it's sunny, right? Supernatural sentence. I'm going out today because it's sunny. So you're saying action because reason, right? But in Japanese, it's kara. You always say kara essentially, or node, which means so therefore. So you always have to put the reason first. So it's like hareteru kara soto ni deru, because it's sunny, or it's sunny, so I'm gonna go out. And that like adjustment in my brain took a long time to get used to, because you just don't get to say your action first. And if you do, I mean, you can, and then you can like kind of maneuver your way around the sentence to like make it make sense. But you wouldn't really say like naze nara, like soto ni dekakeru naze nara hareteru. Like it just sounds really like awkward. Like it sounds like three separate sentences. You wouldn't really say it. So that was one confusing aspect of kara. Kedo was okay because it just means but, and it goes where a but would go in English. So that one was all right. But yeah, kara, you just got to get used to like always saying the reason first and then the action comes after. So yeah, that was always confusing. He also inspired me to learn Japanese. I'm 12. I'm glad to hear that I could also inspire you as well. Dirimang, if that's roughly how you pronounce your name. Konnichiwa, Tokuyuu ja mata ne. Sorry to hear that you have to head out as soon as the stream starts, but thanks for dropping by, Edward. And watching the stream count as learning Japanese so I can strike it off my checklist. It is something. Yeah, I mean, of course, you always want to do your hard studying of, you know, grammar, vocab, kanji, listening, reading. But the streams are more of like a way of you asking any questions that you have that have built up from your studying. And thank you. PR video was awesome. I appreciate that. Put a lot of effort into that one. And what is up, Nubis? Love to see your beautiful face out here. And Benji West, my second beautiful mod out here. Glad you could make it as well. Welcome back home. All right. Next question. So I just signed up for the JLPT N2 this year. Do you have any textbooks, workbooks, or just resources in general to study from? Nice. I mean, first of all, congratulations on making it to a level where you think you're going to be ready to take the JLPT N2 this year. That's awesome. So you're probably like already like an N3 level or so. That's epic. So specifically for N2, I would use textbooks, workbooks, or just resources in general to study from. So I personally like to use the Shinkansen series. Shinkansen Master, that's what it's called. Shinkansen Master, and then you can just put an N2. Let's see, go on Amazon here. Yeah, so it's this series here. Like you can just look at the covers. It's like these kind of designs. And I guess they have 4 books. 4 books, it seems. And it's all based on different things. So you have your grammar, bunpo, you have your dokkai, your reading, you have your goi, your tango, like your vocab, and then your chokai, which is listening. I guess that comes with a CD. I don't know who has like a CD player nowadays. Hopefully they have like a Spotify playlist or a YouTube that you could like just check into and then write the answers. But essentially they have all the sections of the exam, and you can just, whichever you find useful, just pick that one up. I specifically got the dokkai one, this brown one, just for extra reading practice. It's good for reading practice. The only thing is that it's easy to run out of questions because it's just like maybe a workbook like this thick. My finger's a little blurry, but yeah, it's not like super thick, but it's like about that thick. So I would say, yeah, maybe the reading comprehension workbook is probably better for when you've already done lots of reading, you've already studied all your grammar, and now you just want to get used to answering questions within a time limit. It's really good pairing it with like timed practice, because the biggest challenge that I faced when I failed the N2 exam was that I ran out of time. And it was with the reading comprehension section. So I think this book is best used when you time yourself and you want to get used to answering questions. The other ones I can't speak to because I didn't use them. But I mean, the grammar one is probably just has all the grammar you'll need for N2, which I mean is great if you want that. If you want like free options, of course, I always recommend JTest4U, JTest4U, just JT4U for short. Yeah, so once you've passed like the beginner intermediate level, like Takem's guide only goes up to like intermediate level. So from N2 and beyond, there are just all the grammar listed on this website for free. So yeah, they even have tests here as well. So like N2 grammar tests, etc. And yeah, you have your N2 grammar list as well. Just open this up and then boom, you have all your grammar here. Arui wa bakari, bakari da, bakari ni, buri ni. It looks like it's all like alphabetized. Yeah, and it's just all there if you need to practice it. And I think, yeah, they have vocabulary tests as well. And maybe even just like vocab study sheets. And of course, you'll have your Anki and all your vocab decks you can look up online as well. So that's what I would recommend in general. But if there's anything in particular you wanted to work on, yeah, let me know. I can try to answer that more specifically. But good luck with your studies. I learned all hiragana katakana while learning vocab and practicing reading faster. How should I learn my kanji? Yeah, so check out my video on kanji if you want to learn specifically how I did it. But yeah, I mean, congrats on learning your hiragana katakana already. Yeah, and I always recommend learning the vocab with the kanji because I think it just makes remembering the readings easier. But yeah, it's all in my video, so check that out. I have a question. I started learning Japanese this year and I'm finding it hard to stay motivated. Any recommendations to stay motivated? Yeah, I think my video on, I think this is the code for it. The secret to Japanese fluency. Maybe check that one out. That one I cover motivation and consistency. I missed the participation thing, don't know English. For N5, if I continue as planned, I'm going to be N3 when I do N5. Oh, okay, got you. So you weren't able to sign up for the JLPT exam to do N5. So when you actually do it at the end of the year, you're going to be N3. I mean, honestly, better for the test to be too easy than too hard, I guess, right? Because it just means you've been studying well. So keep up the good work, Nubis. And kanji study is great. All right, shall we move on to our next question? Okay, let me switch to me on the screen again. All right, hello. Do you have any tips for getting conversations going and not dying down when talking to natives on HelloTalk and elsewhere? Managing a proper language exchange, knowing when to talk English or Japanese can be confusing, so everyone gets something out of it. For sure. Yeah. Like Japanese English language exchanges can sometimes be really awkward because you don't know if you should speak Japanese or English. And if you are speaking like, say, like Japanese, and you're like, okay, great, this is great practice for me. then like after like say 5-10 minutes of speaking Japanese, you're like, hey, am I like wasting their time? Like, should I switch to English now so that they can practice? Yeah, this has always been a tricky part of language exchanges for me. I really like it. It depends on, first of all, the language exchanges you go to. There are ones, if you're in Japan, they'll have language exchanges like say in Osaka, and some of them are run a little bit better than others in my opinion. I prefer the ones where they vocalize, okay guys, we're gonna start off speaking English, and then you're like, okay, great, we're speaking English, and it's like everyone knows it's time to speak English, and you speak English for 10 minutes, and then after the 10 minutes up, the host says, okay guys, like it's time for Japanese, like Nihongo no time, hai kaishi, and then you just like start speaking Japanese. Very clear, there's no awkward okay Japanese or English now. So part of it is just kind of like on the host to be able to make it easier for the guests to not have to guess when they have to be speaking English or Japanese. If you don't have that privilege, say the host isn't great, or say it's just on Hello Talk and you don't know when to take turns. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's just going to be feeling. I would avoid switching every other sentence though. Like, I don't think you're going to get a lot of benefit out of just constantly switching between Japanese and English. Like you send Japanese, they send back Japanese, then you send back English, they send back English, you send back Japanese. It's like, it's hard to like build up a natural conversation, because part of conversation is also just kind of like repeating and building on to what the other person said. And even though like it's still like the same, you know, thought process, it's the same conversation, when you're constantly like switching languages, like 100 0 100 0, like it can get a little bit hard to bounce back and forth smoothly. So I would say, you know, start with, you know, if you want to be like nice, you can start off say with English for them, or start out with Japanese if you think they're a little bit shy, and starting with Japanese would make it easier for them. So start with Japanese or English and just stick with that for like, I'd say at least 2 or 3 catchball responses. Okay, so like 2 or 3 of your messages and 2 or 3 responses in return in one language, and then you can maybe float like a different language and then go from there, and then another 2 or 3 and then flip. And I feel like that's maybe like a better frequency, and you're not flipping too much, and you're also not sticking to one language for too long that it feels like you're wasting someone's time. And any tips for getting conversations going and not dying down? I mean, yeah, like digital chats are always going to be tricky. You know, if the other person doesn't feel like it, then it can be tricky. You can't force someone to like have a conversation with you if they're just not feeling it. But yeah, I would say just, you know, ask thoughtful questions, and in your responses, try not to just answer literally what they ask. Like, oh, like, 好きな音楽は何ですか? Like, what's your favorite music? Don't just be like, oh, like, I like Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars が好きです. Like, it's tricky, I guess, when you're just learning, but try to add a little bit more. Like, I like Bruno Mars, but I've also been listening to da da da, and like, I'm also interested in like Japanese artists, if you have any recommendations. And that way you like give them a lot of like different conversational strings, you know, to pick from, like whatever they want to build off of. Maybe they want to talk more, oh, I really love Bruno Mars, or they like another artist you mentioned, or they do have recommendations that they can share with you. And I think that just makes it easier for them to keep the conversation going. Yeah, but that's probably just like conversational tactics in general. But it's also good when you're using your second language, because you're not just using the most basic, simple sentence possible. You're forcing yourself to expand your message a bit, and that'll force yourself to challenge your Japanese as well. That would be my best advice. And eJargs, the Japan lifestyle questions, I would wait to send them at 10 p.m. or else they're just going to get buried in the list of questions. So yeah, wait for 10 p.m. would be my recommendation. And Zephyr, I just go to the voice chats or the voice rooms. Yeah, I've heard of the voice rooms on Hello Talk, and that could be a great way as well. I mean, you know, great speaking and listening practice. And then, you know, you don't need to wait like, I don't know, potentially hours for a response. You can get lots of practice right away. And I am really Canadian. Was that ever a doubt? You think I would lie about my Canadian citizenship? And what is up, Toasty? What is up? All right, let's see if we can get to another question. So is Japanese really hard to learn? Yes. Yes, it is. I'd say, yeah. Like, Japanese is one of the hardest languages to learn in the world, period. Like, list of hardest languages in the world. So let's flip that open. I mean, we already got the AI answer of Mandarin, Chinese, Arabic, and Japanese. So, you know, we're already in the top 3 here. Let's go. There's like a really nice graphic. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. Oh, it's right here. Yes, if I could open that. It's probably big enough for you guys to see. Yeah. So it's so this graphic. So what are the hardest languages to learn? And this is like from the perspective of an English speaker. Okay, so it's a little bit biased. So it depends, you know, what languages you already know. But assuming you're a native English speaker, or say like, you know, French or Spanish, like something similar, it'll probably be roughly the same. So the easiest languages are, you know, the ones that are most similar to English, right? Like, so we got your Spanish, French, Italian, Romanian, like all these languages that are very similar, share a lot of vocab. The grammar is essentially the same. About 600 class hours of studying, right? And then medium, you know, we got a little bit, you know, it just like gets gradually geographically further from like, say, like the UK or like, you know, Canada, America. So, you know, you got your Hindi, your Thai, Russian, Serbian, Greek, and that's like 1100 hours, right? So these medium difficulty ones are already twice as long to learn as the easier ones, like Spanish, French, Portuguese. Like, in the time it takes you to learn 2 of these easy languages, you could only learn 1 of these harder languages in theory. But then we got the real hard ones, and guess who's in here? All right, here, Japanese, Nihongo. So we got Arabic, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and look at the class hours. You can see that, yeah, 2200. I can zoom this in even more, actually. 2200 class hours. So that's 4 times. So to learn Japanese, you have to spend 4 times as much time as it would take you to learn, say, Spanish, French, or whatever. Like, you could learn 4 of these easy languages in the time it takes you to learn Japanese. Like instead of me like learning Japanese to where at the level I am now, I could have learned Spanish, French, Swedish, and like Norwegian. I could have like talked to Holland in his native language, you know. But I chose to learn Japanese, and I guess you guys have chose to learn Japanese too, so welcome to the club. It takes 4 times as long. And the reason why it takes 4 times as long in theory is because I'd say there's 3 main reasons. There's 3 main reasons why Japanese is so hard. So number 1, there's not a lot of overlapping vocab, right? So if you've ever learned French, Spanish, or those similar languages, you'll know that like there's so many similar vocab. Like if you don't know a word, you can kind of like fudge it sometimes. Like in French, I used to do this all the time because I went to like a French middle school, and like I just like don't know the word. Like it's like difficult. I'm trying to think of a good example, but like similar English and French words. But like sometimes you just guess, and it's essentially English but with a French accent. Yeah, like say action, it's like action, you know. I guess technically that's also in Japanese action, like animal or impossible. Like it's just like it's the same but with like a French accent, right? But like Japanese doesn't have that. Like they have katakana, and sometimes like it is obviously increasing in prevalence. If you've seen my recent short, that like yeah, English is slightly kind of taking over the Japanese language, slightly, but for the like 90+% of the language, it's just totally different. You have to learn totally different words. So the first reason is all the words are different for the most part. The second is the grammar. Like the grammar is totally backwards in Japanese. Like we were just talking about with because. They don't use the word because in Japanese. They use the equivalent of saying therefore so. So when you say like, I'm going out today because it's sunny, you have to change your whole thought process. Like, you can't say that. You can't say I'm going out because it's sunny. You have to say it's sunny, so I'm going to go out, because they only use the word so, essentially. So there's a lot of these ways that you have to kind of bend your brain to like readjust to a new way of expressing yourself. And it's also, it is expressed in the way of the verb comes last, right? So like, I am going out today. He's like, okay, if you try to say that in Japanese, then you say I'm going out, and it's like, your sentence is over. You already said the verb. You're done. Like, you have to get used to saying, okay, I out go. And it's just like, it's a total mind shift that you have to do because of the grammar. Whereas in French, for example, it's essentially the exact same word order as English. Like, you don't need to change the way you physically think. Like, you can just like plug in the French words, and that's essentially what it is. Like English, French, boom, you just change the words. Sometimes it's a little bit different, like with the adjectives, but essentially like 90% plus the same. Japanese is quite different in that sense, so it takes a while to get used to it. So we have, the words are not similar, the grammar is backwards, and then the third reason, can you guess why? I'm sure you know why. It's kanji, right? They have the characters. Like, whereas in English, we have the 26 letters of the alphabet. They have like the 2100 kanji. So yeah, all kanji image. Yeah, this one right here. Look at this beautiful image right here. So this is their alphabet. So that's also a huge challenge. This is why it takes 2200 hours. So, you know, there you go. So it is a difficult language to learn, to answer your question. And yes, everyone say congrats to Nora for getting the MEX scholarship. Yeah, Ishan Singal, if you have questions about the MEX scholarship, you could ask Nora, but yes, please don't spam the chat. Did you know English is 60% French? That's crazy. Actually, like, in terms of like vocab overlap, because that would explain why it's a much easier language to learn, and why I could like 50-50 kind of get away with not knowing the French word and just kind of guessing that it's the English word with a French accent. It's so funny. Imagine you start learning again from scratch, how you'll start. Yeah, well, I mean, I have a video on how I'll start from nothing, so at least I could watch my own video. I have to learn Spanish in school, and it's often like German or English with a Spanish accent, like pronunciation. Yeah, that is nice. Is German also considered an easy language for English speakers? It's not on this list, actually. But I mean, I'll take your word for it that it's very similar. So it might be one of the easier ones. Yeah, it's so nice when there's a lot of vocab overlap and like grammar overlap too. That's why I struggle with, because yeah, it's hard. You have to shift your brain. You can't say the word because, essentially. You have to say so, therefore. And yeah, it is a struggle, but you know, it's something everyone goes through, and you get used to it. Like when I speak Japanese, I don't struggle with saying because. It just, yeah, naturally I know I have to say the reason first, and then the action comes after. Yeah, it's just something you got to get used to. And is it easy to earn money from Japan? I mean, while you're living in Japan? I mean, if you work a job, you can. I have a video on how to build wealth in Japan if you'd like to check it out. Hey, can you drop a link to the chart in the chat? Sure, I could do that. I could do that for you, Koshi. The grammar is flipping hard. Oh, really? In German? Oh, is it that different? I thought German grammar was similar to English. I just thought they had like maybe the verbs were like a little bit backwards from what my friend was telling me, but you probably know better than I do. Okay, shall we move on to our next question here? Let me just take a little swig of water. And no problem, Koshi. Do you think plain exposure is enough to learn Japanese grammar? I've been told that I shouldn't learn grammar and just lean into exposure after learning basic words. I can tell you, I can tell you right now, whoever gave you that advice is trying to sabotage you learning Japanese. You should watch out for them. I think they're trying to compete with you and trying to learn faster. Because in my opinion, this is just terrible advice. You should not totally just rely on exposure to learn Japanese grammar. Like we've been talking today, like Japanese grammar is just totally different from English. Like it's backwards. The verb comes last. They don't say the word because. You have to say so, therefore every time. So you have to flip the words in your brain when you speak Japanese. And like, yeah, when we're kids or children, like 5 younger, maybe like up to like 9 years old and younger, we can get away with exposure to learn languages because our brain is just so flexible. But when we're adults, even just like teenagers and above, it's really hard to learn from exposure, especially with a language like Japanese that takes supposedly like 2,200 class hours. Because the grammar is so different, it's difficult because say if you're learning French, all you have to do is know, basic French words, and the sentence order is the exact same as English. So if you can pick up like 70%, 80% of the sentence that's spoken, say, in French, and you hear a word you don't know, you basically know what that word should be. Because first of all, it probably sounds like English. Like it's probably like animal. Okay, what is that? Oh, it's animal. Okay, I know that. And second of all, the sentence order is the exact same. So you can just like in your brain plug in what should go there. And it's like, oh yeah, of course it's animal. It sounds like animal. And they're talking about the zoo. It's an animal. But when Japanese has a backwards sentence, even if you know most of the words in the sentence, it takes a long time to figure out the words you don't know because you don't even know what that word should be. You don't even know if it should be a verb or like a noun or like it's just such a lost cause in my opinion trying to do it from exposure because there's the sentences are backwards and the way they express themselves is very different. Like when they say like you must do something, they use the double negative. They say like if you don't do this, it cannot go. And just listening to that literally and trying to pick it up is just going to take forever in my opinion, or just never. Like you'll never learn it in my opinion. That's why I really don't think you should just lean on exposure to learn Japanese grammar. I think in my opinion, it's too difficult. You will not pick it up in 99% of cases. But if you study the grammar and vocab and then do exposure on top of it, then yeah, it's great because it's just reinforcing what you've learned and you'll naturally pick it up because you've already learned it. It's just reinforcing it. And maybe once you have an intermediate level, yeah, you can pick up new grammar a little bit more naturally because you kind of understand the framework that Japanese works in. But yeah, doing it from zero is just a lost cause in my opinion. Would not recommend personally. Why you stop making videos? I'm actually okay. First of all, I made a video 2 months ago, and that's not bad for me. All right, give me that. And I actually have my next video coming up very soon, a 30-minute fat ass video banger in my opinion that I've made, 30 minutes long, fully edited, visual edited. Like the visual is all done. I just need to do the sound design, the music, and then it's all done. So I'm hoping to get it done within this coming week. So stay tuned for that. If someone learns Japanese and then wants to learn Chinese, how long will it take to learn it? That will be a lot easier. I'd say you could learn Chinese in at least half the time that it took you to learn Japanese, because you know all the kanji, and I guess that's about it. Because for the most part, yeah, Chinese grammar, from what I've heard, is similar to English grammar. So honestly, if you already speak English and you now know Japanese, all the kanji, like learning the Chinese characters will take significantly less time, and the grammar is more similar to English. I think it'll be a lot easier. And you already know how to learn a second language. Yeah, at least half the time, maybe even a third of the time. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, tips for passing the N5. I plan to take it this December. I know it's supposed to be easy, but it's overwhelming. I'm using Anki to learn all the verbs and adjectives at the moment, and Genki 1 also. Kanji is super tough. And Gebu, what is up? Welcome to Sakura supporters. Thanks for supporting me out here, and feel free to help some people out in the chat because I know you are a Nihongo no keikensha. So you could probably also be helping some people out. Maybe you could give them advice for how to pass the N5 exam here as well. But yeah, in the meantime, definitely check out my video on how to learn from nothing, because I explain basically how to pass the N5, like how to get started on learning the vocab, the grammar, and the kanji. You said you're learning Anki to learn the verbs and adjectives at the moment, like your vocab, great. And Genki 1 also, yeah, Genki 1 is great. Kanji is super tough. If you're struggling with the kanji, yeah, check out my video on kanji in particular. I recommend like writing them out a few times and like learning the vocab associated with the kanji, etc. Yeah, but yeah, it's supposed to be easy. Like it's the easiest level, as you say, but yeah, it's still a challenge. Like it's still a new language and you're like learning characters for the first time, right? So it'll be tricky for sure, but yeah, just keep at it and I think you'll be all right. All right, did you use JLPT Sensei, and if so, how did you use it to study grammar? I think it gives a definition, but I struggle with knowing where to place things grammatically. I can tell you right now, I have no idea what that is. JLPT Sensei. Oh, is it the one I think it is? Okay, yeah, like this couple. I've only looked at them for like their lists, like say this kanji list. I don't even know if I'd use it for the kanji list. I would just use like kanji study. Yeah, they have like vocab lists as well, which is nice. So it kind of lists out like all the vocab you need to know, like say vocab N4 in the JLPT N4 vocab list, and then it's just like they have all the vocab right here, alphabetized, and a lot of advertisements on the website as well. But yeah, so it's all here. So if you are just a machine and can go through just vocab lists, which is what I did when I first started studying because I didn't know Anki existed, then yeah, you can just like say go through all the words here. It's listed out, which is nice. But yeah, in general, it's not a resource I would use to study as far as I know. Like it just looks like it's like a compilation of all the stuff you need to know. So yeah, I can say that I would use this to study unless they have other services they offer and I just don't know about. But yeah, I just use this as like a reference, like, hey, what is part of N4? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, struggle with grammar. Yeah, I would just use Takeyam's Guide if you're struggling with grammar. Takeyam's Guide, or like say Genki, like the textbook. And if there's a specific grammar point that the explanation in the textbook or Takeyam's Guide just isn't making sense with you, then look it up in YouTube, that specific grammar point, and then there'll be lots of videos explaining it. And then hearing the audio and having it explained a different way will help you learn it. Toku the study machine. Yeah, I was a machine when I started studying. I was literally like printing off lists of vocab and just going through it in alphabetical order. Not the most efficient way to do it, but I was motivated. can't argue with that. I was literally reading vocab lists. Yeah, and comprehensible input is one of the best, maybe even the best. Yeah, it's definitely a concept that should not be overlooked. Like back to the question about exposure, it's great, but yeah, comprehensible input is key, which means you got to know at least 70% of what's being said. In my opinion, ideally higher, like 80, 90, 95%, because then it's a lot easier to pick up the remainder because you just know so much more of the sentence. But yeah, if you're just don't know any grammar and you're trying to learn through exposure, it's not comprehensible input because you're not comprehending what you're inputting. It's just all gibberish, and it's, in my opinion, it's impossible to pick it up like that unless you're 5 years old. And I do still watch anime. Yes, I'm watching Kaguya-sama right now, rewatching it. Actually, it is a banger anime, one of my faves. All right, let me refresh my inbox here while I take a swig of water as well. All right, so let me try to find, there's some life in Japan questions mixed in here. So I'll try to find some specifically Japanese related one. I think I see one right here. Oh. Yeah, it did the little glitch thing again. So let me just reopen this so I can properly show the question on the screen. And scroll down to this question right here. There we go. How do I stop translating Japanese to English first when reading? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not just reading, but it's also going to be speaking. So, I mean, as you probably already understand, like, the goal of fluency in Japanese is to stop translating what you hear in Japanese to English. And then when it's your turn to speak, then you like take the English and you translate it to Japanese and then you speak. Like, there's just a huge time delay that way. And it's not totally natural because you can't always translate things one-to-one. And it's the same for reading. So whether you're having a conversation or you're reading, you should stop translating from Japanese to English eventually. But it's something that you can't really avoid in the beginning because like if you're like me, I was a monolingual English only speaker. So like English is the only way I know how to learn or like function. So when I hear or see a Japanese sentence, I need to like comprehend it in my native language because that's the only one I know. I haven't learned Japanese enough to just take it as it is in Japanese and just like spit it back out in Japanese. So just understand that inevitably you will need to like translate in the beginning in your head to English because it's a new language. Like you're not going to be able to just naturally, pick it up in Japanese and drop it out in Japanese. It's going to take a bit of translating, but how to eventually get over that is just exposure. So you have to grind through your content. Like you have to learn all the vocab, the grammar, the kanji. And as you read and read, you're going to be like, hey, I definitely studied this kanji. What does this kanji mean? Okay, yeah, it means bird. Okay, great. Now I know it's okay. The bird went and like saw a dog and they like played together. If you say you're reading a children's book or whatever, like it's gonna be unnatural at first because you're just trying to get the content to stay in your brain and you're trying to be able to recall it faster. So you need to learn all that content first. And then as you do more and more reading, you don't need to be like, hey, what's that kanji? Oh yeah, it means bird. Okay, go. You just see the kanji and you're like, hey, bird. Like in your brain, it's bird or like tori, like in Japanese. Like the meaning just hits your brain and you know what it is and you don't need to think about translating it to English. And that's just going to take time. Yeah, like you just need to get the reps in, enough reading, enough speaking practice, listening. Like eventually the sounds will just hit your ear or the words will hit your eyes and you'll just be like, hey, yeah, that's what it is. And that's just exposure, enough repetitions of exposure after you've learned the content. And that's just the truth. It just takes a while. But yeah, definitely do lots of practice. And Kaguya-sama is so good. I know, right, Nora? Ball knower. Let's go. It's such a good one. Yeah. So incredibly funny. I don't usually rewatch things because I like to be like totally surprised when I watch shows. But yeah, Kaguya-sama is just like totally worth it. And nice, I see some people in chat doing 10 words a day, 15 words a day, 5 words a day. Good for you guys. Yeah, I mean, any words, a number of words a day is great. Whatever you can stick to doing every day. And Aika, try small first. Instead of saying ouch, say ita. And so on, and then you'll eventually come out naturally. That's what happened for me in Korean. Nice. Yeah, I mean, for me as well, I now almost exclusively say ita when I hit myself. I don't say ouch anymore. It just disappeared from my vocabulary. For some reason, ita just like feels more natural. But yeah, at first it probably didn't feel natural. I like probably hit myself, felt the urge to say like ouch, but I was like ita, ta. And then yeah, it just becomes natural. So yeah, it does start small. It's not like a total switch. All the vocab just starts being all natural in Japanese. Yeah, you can start off little for sure. And what is up? We see Jiru out here in the chat. Nice to see you out here. I finished my N4 2 days ago and was scrolling on YouTube when I came across the JJK series in Japanese and realized I could get a lot of what? Get a lot of what? Oh, what they were saying. Okay, your thing got cut off. I got so happy and kept smiling for an hour. So good. I started N3 yesterday evening and I watched around 10 YouTube videos on N3 already. It's fascinating. Yo, that's great. Great to hear that your motivation is just spiking, and it's definitely a great feeling when you watch something and you're like, wow, I can actually like understand like a lot of what they're saying. That's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely a motivating feeling, and like keep up the great work. That's awesome. Congrats on starting your N3 journey. It's amazing. All right, next question. So let me just open this because we got it's a big one. Let me take a swig of water. Get prepared to read this one out. So, hey, Tokuyuu, I recently passed the JLPT N5 after about 6 months of studying. I just watched a Japanese YouTuber who reached JLPT N1 in only 9 months, and it made me feel a bit discouraged. I can only study around 2 hours a day because of university, so my goal is to reach N1 in around 4 years. Do you think that's realistic? And how do you stop comparing yourself to other learners? I know everyone learns at a different pace, but I struggle with it sometimes. Yeah. Very, very real situation here. So like it took you 6 months to learn N5 and you saw someone else that only took 9 months to get N1. It's easy to get discouraged and all that. First of all, congrats on getting N5. That's amazing. Like most people do not make it that far. They quit at hiragana. So if you are going to compare yourself, just remember you are ahead of most people. No exaggeration. You are ahead of a lot more. I would say even like 80% of people who want to start learning Japanese. So first of all, good job. And 2 hours a day is quite a bit of studying as well. So good for you for committing that much. So yeah, so JLPT N1 in only 9 months. I mean, I don't know who the YouTuber is, so it's hard to say. But they either, most likely, speak, say, Korean or Chinese, like a language that gives them a huge advantage. Like Korean or Chinese speakers learn Japanese significantly faster than English speakers. I'd say at least like 4 times faster. So you really cannot compare yourself to others who speak other languages, especially Korean and Chinese. And if they didn't even like speak those languages, they probably spent a lot of time studying, like 8 to 12 hours a day at least for getting JLPT N1 in 9 months if they didn't speak Chinese or Korean. So like just know that like, yeah, like obviously it looks really good that they got N1 in like 9 months, and that's, you know, great for them. But yeah, it's just like at the end of the day, it's what they're putting into it. And say you're going to university, you know, they've probably committed their entire 9 months to learning Japanese, whereas you're doing university and Japanese at the same time. So yeah, just be aware that it is, people have different starting points with the languages they know, and they put in different amount of time. So yeah, it is easy to like feel a little bit discouraged. You know, I went through that as well, but at the end of the day, you just got to keep going. And it doesn't matter how good someone else gets at Japanese. Your own enjoyment comes when you can start picking up new words. You can start having basic conversations. You can start understanding some things. And it doesn't matter how fast or slow someone else goes. Like it only depends on what you are able to achieve with your Japanese and if you can keep going. Because you just have to keep going. Like it's a marathon. You're not going to learn overnight. You're not going to learn in a month. Like you just got to keep going and just focus on your gains. Yeah. And it will be slow, but yeah, just take it a day at a time and keep at it. And late, but Neospatian, the GOAT of channel supporting out here with the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much, my man, Neospatian, chiming in. Yu-Gi-Oh went well enough, and I got 132nd of 2060. Everyone say congrats to Neo for crushing some noobs out here in Yu-Gi-Oh! He's a Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon menace out here, farming his tournament winnings, and always a huge benefactor of the channel, just supporting out here. Thank you so much, Neo. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, let him finish. Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. No, will never. Oh, camera broke. Here, appreciate that, Nora. Let me just turn the camera off and back on. That's usually what it takes. Give it a second here. And we're back. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, it's hard to see because my monitor is on this side of the screen, so I have to like look all the way on the left. But yeah, definitely let me know if it turns off again. It feels a little bit hot right now, which is a little bit odd because it's only been on for like 50 minutes now. But yeah, maybe I could try to turn down the temperature here. Yeah, Japanese aircon. If you can read these buttons, then you're quite good at Japanese, I'd say. Got it at 24 degrees right now. Yeah, but it's kind of hot because it's summer in Japan. It's just crazy hot, and I'm wearing a sweater. But gotta look good for you guys, you know. Yeah, but yeah, thank you again, Neospatian, for the generous donation as always. Really appreciate it, and congrats again. Yeah, the Japanese summer is just crazy out here. It was literally 35 degrees today. Yeah, I went to a modeling agency to sign up, register, and I had to go there to register, and they're gonna take pictures of me, like headshots, body shots, whatever. And like as soon as you step outside, it's 35 degrees and humid as heck. And it was like at 2 p.m. I had to meet at 2 p.m. So it's the middle of the day, peak heat, and I was just like, okay, I can't look like a sweaty, sloppy mess for like my portrait photos for like, you know, my hopeful like model portfolio. So I was just like, filled up my water bottle with like ice cubes, like full ice cubes, and it was more ice than water, but like I had to get it as cool as possible. I had a little portable fan that they sell in Japan that's just like you wrap around your neck and it just blows air at you. I was just like making sure I walk in the station as long as possible and avoid being outside. There's still sweat, but you know, I avoided looking like a total sloppy mess. But that is just Japanese summer for you. Is really tough. Hukuts. Body sheets are the goat. Body sheets, are those like the opposite of like the kairo, like the heat up sheets that you wear in the winter? Because I could look into those for the emergency moments where I really just do not want to sweat. That could be a good shout. But yeah, let me get to another question. Since we have 7 minutes left of our Japanese language section. All right. In だから手助けなんかいらねえっつってんじゃん. What does つって mean imply? Okay. So thank you for your question. We have our pitch accents from before. Let me get this hand out. Okay, so だから手助けなんかいらねえっつってんじゃん. Okay, so you want to know つてんじゃん. I like the first part here. So let's make that nice and big so everyone can see. So you want to know this part? Can I underline here? Oh god. Okay, it's not Control U, I can tell you that, but I think I can color it. Okay, but it colors the whole thing. So we'll just leave it at that. So it's that. So だから手助けなんかいらねえっつってんじゃん. So this, yeah, let me just write out the full sentence. I think that will make it easier here. So だから手助けなんかいらねえ. So first of all, wherever you got this quote from, like this person saying it is very edgelord, and I'm gonna guess it's anime, manga, or maybe light novel, but I'm guessing it's gonna be fiction. and this person is an edgelord. They're giving like DUN vibes from Classroom of the Elites. If you guys seen that, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. So だから手助けなんかいらねえって言ってんだ。つってんじゃん。So this is basically saying, like I said, I don't need your help. Don't need your help. Like I said, I don't need your help. So this is the direct translation. So だから手助け. So 手助け is like help. Nanka is just like things like that. So you're basically just like brushing it off like 手助け nanka, like I don't need that shit. Like いらねえ is literally I don't need it. So I don't need things like your help. It's like you're really just like brushing it off like I don't need like your shitty help. So つってんじゃん. So つって is like if we were to say clean up this sentence and make it less like this is very like Yankee, like it's very like kind of rough, slangy. So if we were to sprucing it up, so いらねえ. So first of all, this should be いらない. This is the base, like don't need. いらない is the negative form. So いる is to need, いらない don't need. But if you are like Yankee, like the little hoodlums, then instead of saying いらない, you say いらねえ. Okay? So similarly, instead of つってんじゃん, you would say と言っているじゃん。と言っているじゃん。So the つってんじゃん is と. So と is like the quotation mark, right? So like 何々と思う, like I think, or 何々と言っている, like this is what I'm saying. You're basically putting everything before the と in quotes and then saying like I said this. と言っている. So you're saying like this is what I'm saying. So I don't need your help is what I'm saying. So the つってん is like と. It's just the same as the quotations. いらないと言っているじゃん。つってんじゃん。And つってん, it's like basically like this. Maybe I can write this in the ink. I think that might make it easier. So literally this つってん is like と言っている essentially. つってんって言ってんだろうって言ってんだろう. Yeah, it's just like it's so heavily contracted and like Yankee. it is hard to pick it up, but that's essentially what it is. So つってんじゃんと言っているじゃん. Yeah, if you have any other specific questions about it, let me know. But yeah, it's very Yankee. You won't hear it very often, but very slang. Like boys will say it, fairly often. つってんじゃん, つってんじゃん. But it's very dirty. I wouldn't like necessarily pick it up for your own speech. But yeah, just slang. And Koshi, you just learned that grammar point. Nice. The quotation particle and how to say what you think. Yeah, huge grammar point to learn. Like it connects to everything. Like と思うと考えていると言っている. Yeah, it's the quotation. Like you use it a lot. Oh, seems like we've got people with good anime taste here. Let's go. Oh, Classroom of the Elite was really good and I loved it. Yeah, Anubis. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I remember your original profile picture was Iono Koji, right? I was like, Anubis is a ball knower. He knows the good anime. I like the anime so much that like I watched the first season because my friend recommended it to me. I watched it. I really liked it. And then I get to episode 12 and it's over. I'm like, bro, why'd you recommend me an anime that ends on a massive cliffhanger and there's only 12 episodes out and there's no announced second season? I was so mad at my friend. But I really liked the anime. So then I decided to read the light novels. So now I'm on like literally don't even know, God knows, book 28 of the light novel. I'm like in their third year right now, right? In the anime, I think they just started second year. I guess they've maybe passed the first semester of second year by the end of the anime, but I'm like third year. I'm so far ahead with the books, but it's just such a good series. But yeah, one of the characters in that series, Duan, he would say something like this, like he is like the ultimate Yankee, like edgelord, And he would say something like this. 100% he would say something like this. だから手助けなんかいらねえっつってんじゃん. For sure he would say that. Ayanokoji is a studying goat. Yeah, we all wish we could be Ayanokoji in our studies, bro. Literally, he's just like, it's like, how good are you at like studying and like math and stuff? And he's like, well, since I joined the school a year and a half ago, I have not seen a single question I could not answer. Baller. Baller. And yes, Ahmed, I am learning new words. I am 100% learning new words all the time. Of course I remember that. Yeah, I love Classroom Elite, so I recognize Ayanokoji when I see him. Good taste, good taste. Anyways, with that, it is now time for life in Japan related questions. So feel free to put them in the chats, and my apologies for any of the Japanese language related questions I couldn't get to. I try to answer them in depth and quickly, but you know, those are a little bit like, you know, mutually exclusive sometimes, because I really want to answer as best I can. So I can't always get around to all the questions, but appreciate your understanding, and hopefully I answered some of your questions, or if it wasn't your question, hopefully you still learned something. But yes, please feel free to put in your life in Japan related questions in the chat. So in the meantime, we can chill for a bit. And Nate got it from Imawa no Kuni no Arisu. Took it because it felt kind of cool for me. Since the grammar part is over, could I send another point that kind of confusing to me? If it's about the grammar, then maybe drop it in towards the end of the stream. Then I kind of just like go over, we're just chilling in the chat for a little bit for like 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, if you remember to drop it in at the end of the chat or at the end of the stream, then I could maybe look at it and hopefully answer your question then. But for now, I'd like to stick to the life in Japan related questions. And it's from Imawa no Kuni no Arisu. Obviously, like, I love Alice in Borderland, one of my favorite shows of all time. Who would have said that? Dakara terasuke nanka irane tsutenja. Is that the guy who has like the super edgelord, all black, got like the bandana, hella burn marks? Is it that guy? It seems like he's the one who would say it, but don't know. But yeah, it can be good. It sounds very like real Japanese. Like, dakara terasuke nanka irane tsutenja. Like, it's good, like if you're like just hanging out with your boys kind of stuff and you're just being super casual. Do not use it in the workplace or with like random strangers if you want to be polite. All right. No. Let me load up the questions again. And I'm going on school break soon. Can you give me some anime J-dramas I can watch, please? If you haven't watched Alice in Borderland, check it out, please. It's so goated. And yeah, it just depends like what you're into. Anime, Kaguya-sama. If you haven't watched Kaguya-sama, watch it. I'm watching it right now. All right. Boom. All right, question number 1. Let's get going. Let me switch the screen so I'm more present with you guys here. So how is the overwork situation where you work? Yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. So where I work, where I used to work, because now I just do freelance, you do YouTube, model, talent, whatever. But yeah, I used to work at a pharmaceutical company, and it is what's called gaishike. So it's a foreign-based company, but it's in Japan. So typically at gaishike, which is like the foreign companies, they're a little bit less overworking than the traditional Japanese companies. So like, say if you work at like a Japanese company, like, I don't know these ones in particular, like what their work conditions are, maybe they're good, but like just examples of companies like Sony or Nintendo, or like say Takeda Pharmaceuticals, like, you know, built in Japan and like built from the ground up here, and it's like a totally Japan company. Those typically tend to be more buraku, as they say, and they have a lot more overtime and like, you know, a lot more hageshi joge kanke, like a lot of, I guess, distance between like your senpai and your boss, and you have to listen to what they say, and it's not like a really good speak up culture. But where I worked, it was a foreign company, and those tend to be a little bit more white, like white, as they say. It's less overtime. I personally didn't need to do overtime, which was like so blessed. I'm really grateful for my previous company for being so white in that sense. Like I was able to, I showed up at like 9 and then I left at 5 and that was it. I think it's 5:15 technically. So they squeezed that extra 15 minutes out of me, but I can live with that in Japan for sure. So I was really grateful for that. They were really kind in that sense. And that's why, you know, it was still difficult to make YouTube videos because like I'm still working a full-time job and then I want to go to the gym and try to like make friends in this new country and like da. But because there wasn't any overtime, I could still edit like say 1 to 2 hours a day. And that was blessed. I was glad I could still work at least a little bit on my YouTube videos while I was working. So the overwork situation was not bad. And I worked in 4. Oh, I see my camera went out here. Thank you for the heads up, everybody. Yeah, I don't know why the camera is really hot. It's like really, I can put my hand on it and it is really heating up. I even have like the view panel flipped out just so it can like breathe out more. But for some reason it's really overheating. Maybe I might need to switch to my old camera because it never used to have this overheat problem. So I might have to do that. But yeah, thanks for the heads up, guys. Yeah, so what overwork situation. Yeah, and I worked at 4 different departments at my company. And so all 4 different bosses, 4 different like styles of bosses, I guess you could say. And yeah, I never had to work overtime. One of them was saying like, oh, like, you know, this is a very demanding job and you might need to do some overtime. But like, I did push back a little bit. I was very like, you know, gaikokujin about it. I was like, you know, I'm willing to work like my butt off during like hours 9 to 5. But like, I really do not want to do overtime because like, you know, I have a life outside of work. I didn't say that last part, but essentially, and they were understanding. They're like, okay, appreciate your honesty and like, you know, be prepared to work hard during your work hours. And yeah, and that's what it was. And I didn't have to do the overtime, thankfully. And yeah, and so overall the company was very nice in that sense. So yeah, just keep in mind naishike versus gaishike, like the, you know, typical traditional Japanese companies versus a foreign company. Obviously not all companies are the same in that sense, but there is a trend in that way. And Tokuyuu, would you recommend moving to Japan? Yeah, I mean, I love Japan, but yeah, it depends on your personal situation. If you have the Canon R6, then the overheating issue is normal. Yeah, it's not. I used to have a Canon camera. This one's a Sony. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't used to be this bad, but it's really overheating, and I don't know why. I feel like I should put like an ice pack on it. It's like so hot. But yeah, honestly, it cut out like 15 minutes ago, so we might have this issue happen a couple of times. But hopefully you guys stick with me, and then by next stream I'll just switch out my old camera so it's not doing that. All right, let me try to get to the next question. Okay, hi. Do you remember having at least 70 points in the PR point system before moving to Japan, or can you ignore it until you arrive there? Thanks for all your videos. I'm a huge fan. Well, first of all, thanks for watching my videos. And do you recommend having at least 70 points in the PR system before moving to Japan? Yeah, I mean, it depends. Depends what your goals are. So yeah, so 70 PR points means that you can get PR after a 3-year residence in Japan. You need to have 70 points at the start or like at whenever time frame, and then from that time frame to 3 years later, you need to still have 70 or more points. So to get PR in 3 years, you need to have 70 points for 3 years, essentially. So if your goal is to get PR as quickly as possible from the moment you get into Japan, then yeah, that could make sense, because then you have your 70 points right off the get-go, and then 3 years later you can apply for PR, and hopefully you get it like half a year later with like all the application process. I mean, you're asking if I ignored it, or if you can ignore it. Yeah, again, it just depends on your goals. Like, are you happy to live here on like a work visa? Like, do you have a way to stay in Japan that you don't absolutely need to have PR for like a while? Then yeah, you can't ignore it. Like if you have a job lined up and you're happy to work there, and even if that job doesn't work out, you're happy to find a new job and get another work visa, then yeah, then I wouldn't worry about it, because you know you're gonna have a visa and you want to work in Japan anyways. Yeah, because even if you have PR, you still need to get a job, right? You still need to make money. So if you know you're gonna work for a work visa and you're just gonna get it, then you don't need to rush for PR right away. So yeah, just depends on what your personal goals are. Yeah, and thanks for watching my videos. And yes, thank you, Nora. Yeah, the questions do come up randomly. It's not necessarily in chronological order. They are just random as they come. This is a fun one. Do you recommend any dating apps in Japan? Okay. So how should I put this? A lot of the dating apps in Japan are ass. Absolute ass, trash, garbage, dumpster fire. It's like, okay, first of all, we'll start with the biggest one, Tinder. We all know Tinder, right? You use Tinder, like I'm from Canada, probably same in America or wherever else. You use Tinder, you see photos, you see the bio, whatever, swipe, cool, left, right. In Japan, on dating apps, okay, the fundamental is that you take pictures of yourself, you write a bio, and if you like someone else and they like you, you both swipe right and you're a match and you're good to go. In Japan, they don't even put their photos on their profile. Like on Tinder, like 80%, at least 80% of the photos of the profiles on Tinder do not have photos. Like there's no face. They don't show their face. It's gonna be like pancakes. I shit you not. There's just gonna be pictures of pancakes or BTS. They're biased from BTS. Like they're always V. I love V, and there's just a picture of V, or it's gonna be like the back of their head. Like it's gonna be their hair, and you can't see anything of their face. It's the freaking worst. Oh my god. Like I get that, like, you know, it's not always about the looks, and the personality is important too, but the looks are important as well. And that's like half of like only thing you get from dating apps, right? They don't even do it. They don't even put their photos on their profile in dating apps. Like you're literally just rolling the dice if you go on a date in Japan with a dating app. Like you don't know what they look like. They could be a fake person, because it's a lot easier to fake a profile if you don't even need to put photos up. Anyone could just upload pancakes. It could be freaking like a 300-pound man named Koji who lives in like Okinawa, doesn't even live in your city, and he just made a profile and put pancakes on it and called himself Duna. like it's so ridiculous. So if you are to use dating apps in Japan, I'm not an expert on all dating apps, but the only dating app that I use in Japan is Bumble. Because first of all, there's no Hinge. They don't use Hinge in Japan. You can't even download it. Whatever. So Bumble is nice in that most people don't use it. So this is like a good thing and a bad thing. So most people in Japan don't use Bumble, but the people who do use it are Japanese people who are a little bit more internationally minded, or international people in Japan. And because it's more of an international dating app, people put their photos up. Like, thank God there are photos on Bumble. Like if you don't, it's weird to see someone without their photo on Bumble. Sometimes they only put one, and it's like kind of like a off to the side photo or a group photo, and you're like, really? This is the best we could do? But for the most part, they'll like genuinely put like a photo of their face on their profile. And it's like, for that reason, like Bumble's the only one I use when I'm in Japan. But yeah, it's a lot more limited because it's not a super popular dating app in Japan. But it's also nice in the fact that it naturally filters people who are internationally minded. And I mean, it depends on your dating preferences, but I prefer not to date someone who's what they call Jun Japan, which is just, it means pure Japan, like born and raised in Japan, basically never left the country, fully culturally Japanese, and don't really know much about the outside world other than what they see in dramas or what they hear on the news. And like, obviously they're good people and all that, but it's hard to have a relationship with someone who doesn't really understand international culture. Like, you can get stereotyped very easily. Like, maybe they think you're like super kakui because you're a foreigner, and they're like, oh, like, you know, I just like love the way you look. But they don't really understand your culture the way you think, and it can make relationships really difficult. So that's why Bumble is also good in that sense, in that it narrows down more to internationally minded people, and you get a little bit less Jun Japan if you would also like to look for more less just sheltered Japanese people. Yeah, so that would be my recommendation if you want to use a dating app in Japan. Avoid Tinder. Even like they have like the Japanese local apps, like I think it's Tappuru is a big one. Tappuru. I used it for like 2 minutes and it was the same thing as Tinder. It was like there was no photos, back of heads, waffles. There's like fucking Stray Kids, like the Korean group. Like, it just killed me now. Like, this is such a waste of time. Maybe there's some other apps out there where they actually put their photos on, but God, it's brutal. I know, thank God there are photos, right, Nate? Oh my God, it's ridiculous. And Nora, I feel that so much. You feel that? Are you talking about the photos thing? Because if even dudes aren't putting their photo on their profiles, what the heck are they doing? Like, I could kind of understand, because like Japan does have an issue with stalkers a little bit, so I can understand that girls feel maybe a little bit unsafe. I think it's mostly just because they're shy and they don't want to feel judged, but I think part of it is that they're like a little bit fearful that they're going to be stalked if they put their photos online. But dudes, like, if you're a guy, like, you're at a lot lower risk of being stalked, and you're still not putting your freaking photo on the dating app. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Hi. Yes, I also only use Bumble because many Japanese apps men have to pay. Oh, really? The men have to pay for the Japanese apps, the dating apps. I didn't think I had to pay when I used Tappuru, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. If I did have to pay, I probably would have freaking unsubscribed day one. Oh, so bad. And you meant the fully Japanese part, yeah. For sure, yeah. The Jun Japan is a little bit tough to date, for sure. They just don't really understand the culture sometimes, and you just kind of get stereotyped, which is like understandable, because, you know, they just, all they know is Japan, but it makes the relationship difficult because you need that mutual understanding. As Stray Kids, I'd date anyone with that photo. Yeah. Well, go on Japanese dating apps and you'll find them. You'll find them. Nate's with you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's what I recommend. Yeah. Okay, let me try to find another one. All right, this is a long one. It looks like a bit of a rant as well, but we're here to hear people out. Okay. Oh, and my camera is off. We're probably going to experience this at this rate at least like 4 more times before the stream is over. I don't even know. Maybe I can like, here, let me get like a bag of ice. Do I have a bag of ice? Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. You see this right here? I got my little Mizuno bag that I use when I have a fever. Feels very refreshing, actually. It's actually kind of hot in here. I'm kind of with my camera on this one. It's actually kind of hot, but the camera's getting way too hot. So I'm gonna put this on my camera, and hopefully that cools it down a bit. I think I'm gonna need to take off the mic though. because it's kind of in the way. I'm gonna be shaking you guys a little bit, so my apologies. I'm gonna take the shotgun mic off so we can fit the bag on top. There we go. That looks so ridiculous. I need to take a photo of this. I wish you guys could see this right now. Oh my god, that looks so silly. Maybe I'll post it in the chat later. That's so funny. So yeah, my camera has a cold right now. It has a little bit of a fever, so we're cooling them down right now. And try switching from 4K to 1080. Is this stream in 4K right now? It should be 1080. Let me know if you can put the stream to 4K, then that's probably the issue. It's supposed to be 1080 because I know 4K like really stresses out the camera. So yeah, let us know. Let me know. It's like treating a sprain. So funny. Toku leg reveal. Yeah, I exposed myself that I'm wearing shorts right now. But like it is too hot to wear pants. Like I'm already sweating wearing this like very thin sweater. You know, I try to dress up for you guys, and like, you know, it's like when you do those interviews online, they can't really see the lower half of your body, so you just wear underwear. At least I put on shorts for you guys, okay? You know, like it's not underwear, you know? I'm doing the bare minimum here. All right, let's get going on with this question. It is 1080. Okay, good. Then 4K definitely would have been the issue, but I might just need to use my old camera. Okay, let's get to this very long question. Am I wrong for saying that I feel like, hey, let me put this on this what is this called? Excalibur draw, so you guys can see it too, because I think it's way too small to see in the chat. Oh my god, like you see this red line? That's all the text. Okay, let me how do I make this not? Oh boy, this is nuts. I just want you guys to be able to see what I'm reading here, but it's just pasting as a line, which is a little bit tricky. So maybe I'll just read it out. All right. Am I wrong for saying that I feel like people who wish to go to Japan tend to be delusional nowadays? People who do the bare minimum studies in college or just pass, they rely purely on language skills. And feel like they'll do all right, but they face the harsh reality once they arrive in Japan. Language isn't all hell. Learning the culture isn't going to save you either. That's bare minimum. People should and need to research more before even thinking about it. I know for a fact a lot of content creators hide the harsh realities of living in Japan. Since they benefit, they gain money by having you in Japan, since you would rely on them for advice. Okay, be honest, no sugarcoating. Am I really wrong in terms of people not understanding the harsh reality before making the choice and getting mad once it doesn't work out? Yeah, I mean, no sugarcoating, no BS out here. If you know the language and culture, I think you'll be all right, in my opinion. I think the bigger issue is when people move to Japan and they don't speak the language. Like, a lot of people move to Japan and think they'll pick up the language naturally through immersion. Just like, hey, once I'm in the country, then like, I'll just pick it up. Like, it'll be like floating around my head all the day. I'll hear it all the time. I'll go to the store and hear it and use it. I'll talk to people in Japanese. Yeah, that is a little more naive because it's just such a hard language. You don't pick it up naturally, as we were talking earlier on the stream. And that will be a struggle because if you don't know Japanese, it's a lot harder to get jobs in Japan. And it's a lot harder to make friends in Japan and like fit in with the culture because you don't have a mutual language. Like the English level in Japan is not high, and that's not their fault. It's Japan. So they're speaking Japanese. So as someone who's coming into their country to live and move here, potentially like live long term, you should adjust to them. You should learn their language and their culture. And I think if you can learn the language and like the bare minimum of the culture, you'll learn more as you're here. But like for sure, the language is the biggest one, because then you can talk to people and you'll learn from them and you'll connect with them and you'll feel part of the community and you'll get better jobs and you'll commit to society. You'll contribute to society, I mean, better, and you'll like, you pay your taxes that way and all that. And then you're a contributing member and everyone benefits. So I'd say if you know the language, you're great. And if you it's hard to know exactly what you're getting into if you've never lived here before. Like there's always going to be like surprises and like oh, I didn't really know this part about Japan, or like, oh, you know what, I lived here for a couple years and it wasn't really for me. Totally possible. But I think the biggest issue is not learning a language beforehand, or at least getting to like N3 or higher, like a solid base where you can then start to improve a lot faster living in Japan. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's good and bad parts of living in any country. I could agree. I wouldn't say content creators are hiding it to benefit off of people living here. I think for the most part, it's just what goes viral. Like, people want to see the beautiful parts of Japan. They want to see like the nice culture parts and all that stuff. So it tends to be like a little bit more positively biased. But Japan does legitimately have those good parts. And there's the struggles as well. Like, there's the overtime, and people do talk about it. But yeah, it obviously, you know, Instagram, you know, shorts, you'll see what is aesthetic and what goes viral. And that's what content creators make. Content creators are not typically trying to just like lie to you for the sake of lying. It's just what goes viral. And yeah, I think most people aren't like out trying to lie. Yeah, it's just like you'll see a lot of the aesthetic parts of Japan because that's what does well. Oops. Yeah, but if you know the language, I think you'll do all right. Is my conclusion. If you learn a language, you respect the culture, and you're willing to learn, you know, more as you get here, I think you'll be okay. Okay, next question. Camera's still doing all right. It has its little ice pack on it. Hopefully it's less hot now. It feels maybe a little bit less hot. Hopefully the cool can transfer to the rest of the camera. So my Canadian friend from Toronto has always said Canadian McDonald's is superior and claims that the McNuggets in Canada are the best compared to Europe and Japan. Have you tried it and do you agree? How would you compare the fast food franchises in Japan to Canada? McDonald's, KFC, etc. I don't get fast food that often. Like, I only get McDonald's when I'm like playing tennis with my old coworkers in Kyoto. Like, you know, some of them live in Kyoto, so we tend to like meet up there. I'm in Osaka, but we meet up in Kyoto to play tennis. And there's a McDonald's in Kyoto Station near the exit I go out of. And for some reason, like, we always play around like 12 o'clock. So I have to leave my house in Osaka around like 11 a.m. So like, I'll eat breakfast, but then like I get there at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. and I want to eat lunch, but then we're about to start playing tennis. So if I don't eat a lunch, then like I'm not eating till like 3 p.m. So I'll be like, okay, like there'll be my little cheat day. Like I'll get McDonald's, but I don't get the nuggets. I just get like, say like a quarter pounder and fries. And to me, that just tastes the same as it does in Canada. I couldn't comment specifically on the chicken nuggets. Yeah. But I mean, the other franchises like KFC, again, I don't even know if I've had KFC in Japan. Because like, why the heck would you go to KFC in Japan? Like, they have like karaage, or like literally any other food in Japan tastes better than KFC. Like, I did not move halfway across the country to eat the same fast food chains that I could have had in Canada. Like, KFC is like, it wasn't even good in Canada. It's just like all you have for fried chicken. So yeah, but like fast food chains, like Japanese fast food chains, in my opinion, are better than, say, Western fast food chains. And I'm not talking about the KFC or McDonald's. I'm talking about, say, like Moss Burger. Like, I like Moss Burger. I again, I haven't had it that often, but it's nice. It's like the McDonald's of Japan, essentially. It's a fast food burger shop, but the burgers are nice. And like Saizeria, which is like a very budget Italian restaurant. It's also very nice. It's very cheap, dirt cheap. Like, you can get a freaking pizza for 400 yen, which is like $4, which is like ridiculous. Saizeria. I forget how to spell it. Saizeria? Saizeria. Yeah. So you can get things for super cheap. Yeah, this is what it is. Looks like that. And yeah, this is their menu. Like, it's like, you know, medium quality. It's like, it's not the best quality in the world, but it's like, it's all right. And it's like dirt cheap. And this is not the best quality photo either. but you can get like pastas or like pizzas and whatever, and you can just like stuff your face for like less than $10 essentially. Yeah, so I think fast food restaurants in general in Japan are better, but I don't know about like the Western ones in particular. There's also like Domino's pizzas here, and like again, I probably had it like once. Maybe that's one I'd say is probably better in the West, because they have some weird flavors of Domino's pizzas here. Like they put eggs on pizza, and like I don't get that. I don't get why they do that in Japan. Keep eggs off pizza, please. Yeah, but in general, the food's just better in Japan, in my opinion. Less fatty, less heavy. Italians despise size it. Oh, really? Is size it like the short form for it? That's so funny. Size idiot. But I'm sure they do, because it's not food to boast about for sure. Like it's not like 5 out of 5 premium food. I do get this pizza all the time, like this mushroom one on top left. But yeah, it's not like primo Italian food, but it's hella cheap and hella convenient. I can tell you that. They put mayonnaise on ice cream. What the heck? I have not seen that. They put mayonnaise on pizza though, and that one's actually not always bad, but it's still kind of weird. Mayonnaise on ice cream though is just actually criminal. Actually terrible. They do some weird stuff. I'm with you on that one. And let me refresh my inbox. Okay. See the question? Yep. Okay, how important would be a driver's license in Japan? If you live in the rural areas, I would think it is good, but how good would you say it is the public transportation? Okay. Yeah. The public transportation in Japan is like absolutely goated. Like you can get anywhere you ever wanted across the country. Like first of all, the bullet train takes you from like Hokkaido, the northernmost island, all the way down to Tokyo, Osaka, then to Kyushu, like Fukuoka, and then it's gone even further. Like it's literally all the way to the west coast of Japan. Like you can take the bullet train and you can get anywhere and just like lickety split. And then in the cities, so like Osaka, Tokyo, like the trains run on time. Like you can make your transfer that only gives you like 2 minutes leeway, and you know you're making that transfer like 99 times out of 100 or more, because they're just so punctual. And you just do not get that in Canada, and probably in other parts of the world as well. Like you're lucky if your train is only 5 minutes late in Canada. And if you're taking a bus, good luck. Like you're lucky if the bus shows up. But in Japan, it's a lot more reliable. So you can travel by train within a big city for sure. Easy. Between cities, like especially big cities, for sure. Bullet train or like local like rapid special trains, you got tons. Great. Easy. The trickier part is, yeah, when you start getting a little bit more rural. Like I used to live in a town called Hikone. Let me pull it up here. So if we pull up our little friend Google Maps here and we look up Hikone. Beautiful, beautiful town. Look at this castle. Isn't that a nice castle? All this water, the moat, beautiful nature. And the town is nice too. Like it has like this nice like traditional like tiling and then like the wooden signs. Very, very charming city. The only problem is it's tiny as heck. It is a teensy tiny town of 112,000 people. And if you can see here, this train line, it might be a little bit tricky to see, but it's this blue and white one. Tokaido. Actually, that's the Shinkansen, so it's not that one. It's this one right here. I wonder if I can say, let's say, okay, Maibara. So Maibara is like the neighboring city. So if you go from like Maibara to, let's say Kyoto. And it'll give us one straight line. Yeah, this blue line right here. So that's the Tokaido line, this blue one. So if you can see, this train that goes through Hikone. So you have Hikone Station. That's like the main station in town. And then you have Minami Hikone. It's a little bit small. I try to zoom in, but the name kind of shrinks as I zoom in. But yeah, there's a station here, Minami Hikone, like South Hikone, and then there's another station up here called Hikone, and that's it. You have your 2 stations in Hikone, and that's it. From this part of town and this part of town, and like you cannot just like walk the rest. Like it is impossible. Like if you wanted to go like over here, like to the ocean, like how would you even do that? You probably have to take buses. Maybe a bike if you have it would be okay. You can take bikes in Japan, they're very popular. But yeah, here is where a car would be kind of nice to have if you lived in Hikone for like a long period of time. So like, yeah, say we want to get to like Kain's Hikone store. There's probably a bus. I think I've actually been here before, but if we go from Hikone station to Kain's, yeah, so it's a 6-minute drive or like 35-minute bus ride. The bus ride is the same length as walking, which is 35 minutes. So it's like really not the most convenient, even if you have the bus. But if you have a car, it's only 6 minutes, right? So if you live in a small town, for sure the cars are better. And if you like to do a lot of traveling, like sometimes if you go to like these rural areas, if you like to go like into the mountains more, or you like onsens, like my boy Benji West loves his onsens and like traveling all parts of Japan. Taking a car can often be cheaper and sometimes faster for the rural areas. So yeah, it really just depends how often you're going to be going around rural areas, or if you live in a smaller town, then having a car would probably be better. But if you live in like Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, Nagoya, Yokohama, you don't really need a car. You're probably just wasting insurance money and parking and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I've never owned a car in my 4 years of living here, and I've never missed it. And you can also rent cars in Japan, which is great. Like they have something called like Times Car Share. They have different ones, but this is one of them, Times Car Rental. And yeah, you can literally just rent a car. It's like very common practice in Japan. Like you can do it, I guess, in the West as well, but it's even more common in Japan, I find. And like I have an app on my phone, and I just like, there's so many parking lots out there where you can literally just walk up, just like rent your car for like say the 3 hours, and you're going to take it here and you're going to park it here, and you're like, you pay your money through the app and you're done. And you can like, you just use the car for 3 hours and whatever. And yeah, I've done that many times with my friends. Like we just rent a car for like the weekend. If we want to go out somewhere and we want a car, rent the car for the weekend, go out, come back, drop off the car, done. And you don't need to like pay for insurance all the time and for a parking spot. You just rent the car when you need it. So yeah, for the most part, you don't really need a car unless you're going to be in a rural town and using it all the time. The European soul in me thinks 35 minutes doesn't seem that long. Honestly, I would have walked that too when I was younger. I used to walk everything. Yeah, especially in Hikone. Like that walk would actually be like kind of pretty, to be fair, because like in Hikone, it's a smaller town, so there's some charm to it. And you can walk through like this castle, the castle grounds, and like the park. So it's like, it's really not a bad walk. So you could convince me to walk if it weren't summer. I would walk it if it wasn't summer. But yeah, that's what it is. You're saying 112,000 is teensy. Well, it is, but from Ireland, where we average rural town has 800 people. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just a different level of rural. I mean, that's truly rural. Like that's a village. But you probably, I don't know, do you need a car if you live there? I mean, probably if you want to go like out of town. But like the town itself is probably like nice and compact. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you have like lots of land that, you know, big properties. Yeah, that's a different level of rural. I'll give you that. The signals make the walk time too much. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's less jaywalking in Japan, but honestly, with the rural towns, I'm just jaywalk anyways. Because like if there's no cars and the streets are really small, I just do it. Yeah, you do want to walk in the summer. It is suicidal behavior. And it's 10:39. Got about 20 minutes left of our Q&A session. Let's see if we can get through some more questions. Okay, so hi, I saw a YouTube short about kanji that you had a question labeled Twitch chat. I couldn't find your Twitch link on your YouTube channel. Are you still on Twitch and interested to watch your streams? Outside your main content, even if it's just leisurely like gaming or chatting. I appreciate that. Thank you. I would like to do some like gaming and just more casual streams in the future. I technically do have a Twitch channel, but I do not use it. I just use it to watch my friends like Benji West when he streams on Twitch. Yeah, that short you watched about the kanji, it's edited by my editor, so they just, I think, just by default had Twitch chat. But from then on, I had them switch it to just chat or YouTube chat because it is a little bit misleading. I did notice that as well. So yeah, sorry that we misled you as well. But yeah, maybe eventually. I'm glad that you would be willing to watch that content outside my main channel, because I would like to do some gaming and just like more casual stuff in the future. But for now, like, you know, my upload schedule isn't super common. So, you know, I'd want to get down on that first. And then once I have like a comfortable schedule on my main channel, I'm uploading content regularly, getting these streams down like to a pat, then yeah, I'd be down to do some more like casual stuff. And hopefully you'd be there to tune in as well. Thanks for asking. I live in Fukuoka, but when I lived in Ireland, I had 50 people in my village. 50 is ridiculous. Like, everyone definitely knows each other, right? Like, it'd be impossible for you to not know all each other. But goddamn. And you live in Fukuoka, so that's probably like a major change, right? Just like a major city. Goddamn. And you think one day real estate in Japan will appreciate and could be investments? I mean, it appreciates in general in the big cities, like the major cities. And it can still be investment, but yeah, just the ways the laws are. Like, if you've watched my video, that they just don't increase like they do in the West. So you have to treat them a little bit more differently. And hey, Toku, I was wondering if language does matter for foreigners in the Japanese job market. And I have answered a million times, but no worries. Yeah, it does. Definitely learn Japanese, unless you want to be an English teacher. Yeah, Nate, thanks for answering as well. All right, let me see if I can find another question in our Marshmallow. Oh, this okay. If I'm going to college for graduate school in Tokyo, how do I make friends and meet people? So, yeah, it's also a question I get fairly often. So, how to make friends and meet people in Tokyo or Japan in general? I would say, so if you watched my video here, I'll post it in the chat as well. Move. So my recent video, maybe a second most recent video, like how to move in Japan. One of my biggest recommendations is to use an app or website called Meetup. Great app, great website, whatever you choose to use. It's both. You can, if you live in a relatively big city, then you can go on Meetup and you can look for local events in your area. And so I live in Osaka, so I often go to like, you know, language exchange events or just like meet and greet, like drink casual at a bar and meet people events or like music stuff, whatever. And yeah, it's great because like it's an international website. So like my mom uses it in Canada. She's the one who actually like indirectly recommended it to me, recommended it to my friend who then recommended it to me. But yeah, it's a very international like website or app. So there's a lot of international people that use it, but there's also Japanese people that use it who want to meet international people. So you get this really good balance of like, it really is close to just like 50% Japanese people and 50% international people in Japan. And you like go to these events for language exchanges or just like hang out and chat and talk. And yeah, it's great because you meet other international people who are probably the easiest to talk to for you if you're just like getting used to Japan right away, because they're going through the same thing you are, or they have in the past. They're a foreigner living in Japan. So you can find a lot of people who like kind of understand your situation. And then you're also meeting a lot of Japanese people, which is great because you don't want to just get stuck in your own little foreigner community, right? Like you moved to Japan to probably meet Japanese people and enjoy Japanese culture. So it's also great because you get to meet a lot of Japanese people. And because they're Japanese people using this international app, they often, their English level is a bit better, and they just understand international culture better. They're either they've been on exchange, or they've been on working holiday, or they're interested in it, or they're studying English and they want to practice English with people. Like they're like really like more like, I guess, internationally motivated Japanese people, and it's just like really great to meet them. So yeah, if I had to give one answer, especially in Tokyo, try Meetup. Great website, great app, would recommend. And other than that, if you go to college, then you can join like your circles in college. Like they literally call them sakuru, and it'd be like anything. It could be like a dance club, sports club. You know, if you like play volleyball, you can join like a volleyball club or whatever you're interested in. And that would be a great way to meet people at your university as well. So that would be my recommendation. And your thought on Japan planning to limit the amount of work visas in the future. Is that really a thing? Is Japan planning on limiting work visas? Okay, so Japan is tightening rules and capping certain foreign work categories. Can you see this? I want to make sure this is big enough for all of you. But it is not stopping work visas entirely. Instead of a total ban, the government has set a ceiling of roughly 1.23 million foreign workers through fiscal 2028 for specific blue-collar programs, and has frozen new visas in high-demand areas like the restaurant sector as caps near. So what does this mean? So they're only setting this ceiling for specific blue collar programs. So like maybe like construction or like carpenter, factory workers. And it's frozen new visas in high demand areas like restaurant sectors as capped near. Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like, from what I can hear, like if you are working, say like in an office, or you have like a specific specialty that you're in, like I don't know, graphic design, like I guess white collar jobs I guess aren't limited, as from what I'm understanding here. But it is, yeah, surprising that they're limiting it. I guess maybe they have too many people coming in for the same kind of jobs, and it's just kind of like saturating the market. I'm not sure what the thought is behind there. That's interesting though. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Let me get to the next question. Okay. We can see it. Yep. Let me switch the camera. Hello, hello. How is dating in Japan in your opinion? There's a lot of nuance in regards to cultural differences, such as lack of physical affection, such as hugging, and such as wives leaving with the kid to their hometown when the child is born to get assistance from their parents when the husband stays at home and works. Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean that is like way beyond the stage of dating, right? The whole, like, I guess, having a child with your wife and husband. So I can't say on that because I have not experienced that myself. Yeah, for me personally, I've never felt an issue with, say, what you mentioned, the physical affection. Yeah, I've never felt like I want to be physically affectionate, but my Japanese partner doesn't want to be physically affectionate because it feels awkward for them. Like they're always down to hug, you know? So I haven't felt that. There are cultural differences as well. I find that Japanese, again, like I can only speak as like a straight male. Like I've only dated Japanese women. Don't know how like the men are, but a lot of the Japanese women that I've, I guess, dated or even just kind of like heard through my friends, oftentimes can struggle with communicating their feelings. And I think it's part of, I guess, the Japanese culture of like maintaining the peace, right? Because like there's a huge culture in Japan of like, you know, don't stand out, you know, don't rock the boat. Just make sure everything is in harmony. And like, you know, if something's wrong, just kind of like, you know, keep it down a little bit and make sure everything's smooth. And I feel like sometimes, you know, that's great to make sure that not every single issue is like coming up and exploding. And like, you're always like having issues in that sense. But it is also important to talk things out, in my opinion. And sometimes I feel like that's been a struggle with Japanese people I've dated or heard other people date, that it's hard to get people to be honest, be like, hey, what's on your mind? What's bothering you? And like, you ask them and they're like, oh no, it's nothing. Or like, you know, like, oh, don't worry about it. And then it just like kind of builds up and then it blows up eventually, right? Because it's just like you're bottling it up. So I feel like that is a difficulty, the communication. Anything else? I find that Japanese women can also be kind of shy at first. Like in the West, I guess in Canada, I find there's like a lot of like that, like boss bitch energy. There's like women are a little bit more like bold, willing to make the first move or just be like honest about their feelings, etc. Whereas in Japan, I find that it takes like it takes women a little bit more time to open up and like warm up to you and like open up a bit. So yeah, I'd say you often need to like give them a little bit more time to like kind of break out of their shell a little bit, because I think that's just, I guess, the pace that it is in Japan. It's a little bit slower. And I think, again, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, that there's an issue with like stalkers in Japan. And there are weird people in Japan, like there are weird people in any country. So I think a lot of times the Japanese women especially want to take their time to really get to know you, make sure you're not a weirdo that's going to stalk them or like be a threat to them. So you just have to like take your time and be very respectful in that sense of their space and like give them time to like build up that trust. So that's another difference that I've felt as well. So yeah, it takes maybe a little bit more time for them to warm up. And sometimes it's a little bit harder for them to communicate their feelings honestly, in my opinion, from what I've experienced. I'd say those are the two major things I've felt. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think, of course, dating is always about finding someone who you're compatible with. And my biggest advice for dating in Japan, I've mentioned it before on the stream, is just to like learn Japanese. Like if you know Japanese, you know, they're obviously going to know Japanese. If you're just relying on their English, you know, if they're really good at English, maybe, but for the most part, they're probably going to be like okay at best. And it's really hard to build a relationship with communication if you don't have a strong mutual language, which is why I really recommend you learning Japanese. And even if their English is really good, you knowing Japanese means that you'll be able to communicate with them as well in their language, as well as they're communicating with you in your language. And you can learn the culture a lot better because you can interact with society and you can understand them better. So I really just recommend learning Japanese if you're interested in dating in Japan. That's my advice. And hello, Icy Fits. Not sure if you remember me somehow, but Tokuyuu here, and nice to see you living life in Japan. 29th like. Appreciate the like. And I do remember you. Thanks for always commenting, being out here, supporting the channel. Nice to see you attending a live stream. What is up? I don't know if I feel confident enough to properly convey my feelings in Japanese. Yeah, it's tricky. Like, I mean, if you guys don't know, like Nora is a freaking legend at Japanese. So yeah, even if you are very good at Japanese, yeah, it's like it is harder to sometimes really get the nuance of what you're trying to say, because it's like usually like if you're communicating something in a relationship, it's like, you know, very emotional, very nuanced. You don't want to hurt the other person, but you still want to be honest. And it's, you know, kind of terms you don't usually use in everyday life in Japan. So it can be hard to find the right words or the right way to say things. So yeah, I mean, that's another reason why it's great to learn Japanese, so that you can help your partner, if you know, if they're Japanese, that they can say how they feel in their native language, and it probably makes them more comfortable than forcing them to say it in English. And it's great if they also know English to a degree, because then you can express your feelings in your native language. And I think that just makes it better for both parties. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I really catch you live. Happy to catch you this time. Yeah, thanks for checking me out. Glad you could catch it. Just we're winding down. It's going till 11 p.m. JST, which is actually just in 5 minutes from now. So glad you could catch the tail end before we head out. So nice to see you in chat. My question got read today. I guess attending every stream does help. I did send the huge rant question. Oh, and what is up, Tactical Cookie? Nice to see you out here. And yeah, I appreciate you sending the questions and being patient. If I probably can't answer the questions, every time. So I'm glad I could get around to your question this time. Yeah, and I hope I was able to give you my honest opinion and give you some reference for it. It is fair. I think people sometimes, I guess, don't fully understand Japan before they move here. And partly legitimately so, because how can you ever fully know a country without being there first? But I do think language is the biggest thing you can do. And learn Japanese and you'll become a romance anime protagonist. Exactly. And then you can you can have your own harem anime in Japan. But you gotta speak Japanese first. In normal setting, regardless of language, I think not knowing and being able to understand who you are and what you're feeling foremost will just be harder to convey in words. Yeah, for sure. You gotta understand what you're feeling first and be able to process that regardless of language. All right, so let's try to get another question in here. All right, here's a fun one. I was surprised to hear in a previous stream that takoyaki isn't exactly your thing, or at least something you wouldn't eat once a week. Since I've always heard that takoyaki is one of the main things in Osaka is known for, what is a Japanese snack or food dish that is popular among your friends, or even your favorite food outside Japan? You're paying attention. I appreciate you bringing up a previous stream. Appreciate you watching my streams. And yeah, takoyaki is a huge food item. I'd say the two main Okinawa. The two main Osakan foods are takoyaki and okonomiyaki. For those of you who are unfamiliar, takoyaki are the octopus balls, and they taste better than how they sound in English. Okay, it's not octopus scrotum. Okay, it's like literally octopus meat inside these batter balls here, and they're actually quite good. Like, they look pretty scrumptious in this photo, to be honest. I'd muck that right now. But yeah, so it's like batter balls with this octopus, the taco, and then you put whatever else you want in it, like whatever spices, or like what else goes in there often? Sometimes red ginger, whatever you feel like, and then you put like the mayonnaise and like this brown sauce on top with like the bonito flakes. It's good, but yeah, it is like, it's really hot. I wouldn't eat it much in the summer, to be honest, just because it's so hot. And it's also like really heavy and battery, so that's why I don't eat it all the time. So I much prefer the other famous Osakan food, which is okonomiyaki. And for those of you who don't know, it is this savory pancake, which is absolutely scrumptious. Look at this absolute gorgeous food. It's hard to tell its full glory in one image, but yeah, so it's also batter based, but it's batter and cabbage. That's the main base. So the cabbage helps make it feel less heavy. And then you put whatever else you want in it. It's literally called okonomiyaki, and okonomi, like konomi is like what you like, and yaki is to fry. So that's why takoyaki is octopus and yaki is fry. So it's fried octopus. Okonomiyaki is like literally fry what you like. That's the literal translation. Fry what you like. And it's originally a poor person's food. Like, it's when back in the days when they didn't have a lot of money and they just had to like kind of make what they had left in like their fridge, essentially, whatever food scraps they had. So they just had batter and cabbage was plentiful, and then they just put whatever else in. But even though it's like traditionally a poor man's pancake, I love it. It's so good. Like, it's the batter and cabbage, and then you put like pork in it. They have pork kimchi, banger. They have pork squid, also banger. They have like deluxe. Well, they'll put like the pork, squid, a bunch of seafood, maybe some beef in there, and like just like then you put that all in there, you fry it, and then you put the brown sauce first. Yeah, okay. So you put the brown okonomiyaki sauce on top, and then you put the mayonnaise on top, and then if you want, you can like sprinkle like what goes on top? Is it bonito flakes or maybe something else? I think there's also like a green kind of like shake that you put on it, like some sort of like spice or something. It's like this right here, whatever. Yeah, this green thing they're flaking on top. I could not tell you what it is, to be honest, but anyways, absolutely delicious. This I could definitely eat once a week. It's also sometimes it's a bit heavy because you know it's fried food, but absolutely delicious. So yeah, takoyaki isn't my go-to but okonomiyaki for sure is. And if you're visiting Osaka for the first time, you definitely got to eat it. It's just like an absolute banger. Like my mom loves it too. A lot of people that I bring to Osaka or I have visit me in Osaka, say from Canada, they'll eat like the takoyaki, okonomiyaki, the classics, and most of them like the okonomiyaki more. Like my mom included. She's not a big fan of the takoyaki. I think she's like, it's nice, but she likes the okonomiyaki more. So takoyaki at the Natsu Matsuri is such a vibe though. Yeah, for sure. Like takoyaki is like really good in that you can carry it. So if we go back to the takoyaki dish. So the good thing about takoyaki is you can usually get it at food stalls, and they'll serve it on this little boat thing here. So it's great because you can just carry it around with one hand and you have chopsticks in the other. And if you're at like the Natsu Matsuri, which is like the summer festival, like where you have like your fireworks or you have like all the food stalls and you're wearing like your yukata and you're just like walking around with like your friends or your partner, you just walk around with your takoyaki and just like eat it while you're walking around, maybe play some like festival games. That's definitely a vibe. I'm with you on that one, Nora. Aonori, and yes, bonito. Yeah, so it's a vibe for that. I'll give you that. And it's called aonori. I didn't know that. Green laver. Could not tell you what that is, but it's a seaweed, right? Because that's why it's nori. It's a type of edible green seaweed, rich in minerals such as calcium, magnesium, lithium, vitamins, and amino acids such as methionine. I mean, that doesn't really tell me much about what it is, but yeah. Okay. Well, now I know. Aonori. Thank you. So that's what they put on top of the okonomiyaki. Tried takoyaki. It was good, but a bit overhyped. Okonomiyaki is peak. Yeah. 100% bubbly tech. I'm saying like, this is the woke take. Takoyaki, it's nice. It's like, it's good, but like, you know, it's just like nice to have once in a while. And like, yeah, like Nora said, maybe the Natsu Matsuri, but the okonomiyaki for sure is the banger. Yeah, and it's already 11:03, so we can chill and chat for a little bit before we wrap up for today. And Jonathan Japan, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Congrats on your triple pedal status. The takoyaki slander. Hey, we're not saying it's bad. Like, we're literally saying it's nice. But it's nice domari. Like, that's all it is. It's just nice. Okonomiyaki, though, look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful pancake. And Bullytech, yeah, Calorie Mate is a good snack. You are a ball knower. I love Calorie Mate. I used to eat that every day. Like, I had like the vanilla Calorie Mates. That's the best flavor, by the way. If you haven't tried it, you should have that. I honestly wasn't eating it for the taste per se. I was just trying to like bulk up at the gym. And it's just an easy way to do so because it's just like 400 calories, a nice like soft cookie chocolate flavor, like a light, very light chocolate. That's the vanilla. It just has little chocolate pieces in it. Very nice, very nice. Very like some like I eat it every day. Like I had eaten it every day to like put on weight for the gym, and because it's just such like a soft, pleasant taste, I could have it every day without getting sick of it. But yeah, the other flavors are kind of hit and miss. Like they have a chocolate flavor, like a true chocolate flavor, and it's just ass. It is not good. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I think this is the vanilla flavor. And they'll have the like little chocolate chips in it, which is nice. But the actual chocolate flavor, it just like tastes like sand. Not good. But it's a banger. Yeah, new badge. Bang, bang. Congratulations, Jonathan, and thanks for being a long-term supporter. If I ever visit Japan, I want to try beef bowl. Yeah, that's another classic. The gyudon. Gyudon from Sukiya or Matsunoya. Is that? I think that's the other one. I honestly, I don't go to these places very often, but they are classics and they're very cheap too. But yeah, this is a very classic Japanese food. Very cheap, very filling, very yummy. Yeah. It's not my go-to because it's quite heavy, and you know, Japan has just so much good food that, like, you know, beef bowl just does not make the top of the list often for me. But it's a nice one. Good comfort food. Homemade gyudon though is like banging for sure. Caught a whole stream while in Japan. Yeah, this is a dream come true for sure. Yo, Kevin. Yeah, thanks for watching the whole stream. Appreciate you being out here the whole time. Really appreciate it. And everyone else as well who's stuck around. Nora, Nate as well. Jiru been out here. Appreciate you guys. And again, yeah, congrats on coming to Japan for the first time. It's definitely a super exciting experience. I can't wait to try my first sushi. Maybe then I'll get why so many people are obsessed with raw fish. Yeah, you must have had sushi before, right? Just your first sushi in Japan, maybe? Yeah, I mean, you know, some people just aren't into the raw fish. Like, I have friends who don't like it, you know, even if they've had the real Japanese one. And, you know, some people just aren't into it. But I think it is a bit of an acquired taste because it is kind of a weird concept, right? Like eating raw meat, even if it's just fish. It's kind of strange, but if you get used to it, yeah, it tastes so good. Love it. Absolutely love it. And of course, Japan is the place to be to have it. And Kobe beef was also not as good as I expected. Oh, really? It's very heavy. I mean, it's like melt in your mouth, heavenly, fatty goodness, but it is a bit heavy. I wouldn't eat it every day. I probably wouldn't even have it every week. But if you like steaks and you like that like fatty, rich flavor, in my opinion, it's appropriately rated. I don't think it's overrated. It's just yummy and heavy. And what happened to that character in my old profile picture? It's still around. It's still around, but yeah, I just decided to use my real face because I felt like probably more appropriate just to use my real face to try to like build up my presence, my brand, which is basically me. The other character I really liked, my friend drew it for me, but you know, it's just like kind of like a random little chibi character of me, and I don't use it anywhere else. So I felt it's probably better just to use my real face. Yeah. But I'm glad you remember it because it's definitely got a special place in my heart because it's like my first, it's not even my first profile picture, but it's basically, it has been my profile picture for the longest time. I'll be honest, if you stream more consistently, you'll break famous. I'm streaming consistently, just every 2 weeks, not very often. And I appreciate that though. Thank you, Tactical Cookie. I think honestly, I don't think I'd break famous just from the streams alone. The streams are, you know, I'm just casually answering questions with you guys and like hanging out. It's more of just a way to like connect with you guys and chat, and like I can make shorts from like some of the content that we talk about, which is nice as well. Yeah, I think for the most part, I just need to work on my main videos if I want to break famous. But I appreciate your belief in me. Ippudo ramen was the best thing I have in Japan. Yeah, it's definitely a banger as well. Yeah, thank you, Nora. I really appreciate it. And yeah, definitely like the rebrand. Do you like the rebrand? Because maybe you might know someone in the banner. Is that maybe why you like the rebrand? Hope that's not the only biased reason you like the rebrand, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And your streams are fun to watch, have that comfort vibe, and you seem to be open to disagreement. You'll become famous if you stream consistently. Good luck, brother. Maybe try it. Appreciate it, Tactical Cookie. I appreciate all the belief, and thanks for watching the streams as well. Appreciate your consistent support. Glad you find them comfortable and that I'm open to disagreement and being honest. And KG Gorilla, thank you so much for the content. You help us and motivate us all. You rock, Tokuyuu. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Glad I can make content that helps you out and hopefully motivate you, because, you know, I started from nothing. So if I can learn Japanese from nothing, you guys can too. Because I am not a language genius by any means. I can tell you that. Does not come natural to me. so if I can do it, you can do it. And how did you learn to be this good at editing and graphics? Thanks, Bubbly Tech. It's all self-studied. Yeah, I took like a very basic online course, just the basics of like how to use a camera and basic editing. And the rest is just watching tutorials, YouTube tutorials. How do I make this text appear? How do I make it type on? How do I make this glow effect? You know, all just individually like watch tutorials on YouTube. Took a while and I'm still learning every day, but yeah, it's fun. It's like a little artistic outlet for me now. And the next video, Ahmad, is coming out hopefully this coming week. I'd say all the visual effects are done. I just need to do the sound design and music. So hopefully that will be out next week. So look forward to that. And I look forward to hearing your guys' opinion. Hopefully see you guys in the comment section of that as well. And not gonna lie, that's one of the reasons why you like the rebrand. Of course, Nora, of course it is. I feel so special. But the design is super pleasing and glad the design is nice as well. And yeah, Luffy next week, hopefully. Yeah, you are consistent. Would be nice if you could stream more often. I would have a reason to open YouTube. I appreciate that, Nate. I appreciate it. I'm surprised that I'm one of your few reasons to open YouTube. There are good YouTube videos out there, but yeah, I try to. Eventually, it'd be nice to stream, say, like once a week at least, or maybe even more often in the future. But like for now, like I'm really trying to like focus on making the videos and like putting my effort in there. So I don't want to overload myself with streaming more than I can handle. I'd rather be able to commit to an amount of time that I can do. And right now that's once every 2 weeks. So I appreciate you guys, you know, sticking around and supporting me, even though it's not super often that I stream, but appreciate you guys supporting me nonetheless. It's more like there's a lack of streamers or people who are either honest or make comfort vibey streams. I feel like watching a streamer should be like talking to a friend you are like. Thanks so much, Tactical Cookie. That means a lot. Yeah, that's what I try to aim for, you know, just like casual, laid back, you know, got some music playing in the background and just try to answer your questions and, you know, not make it super tight. You know, of course I have the Q&A section. We have a little bit of a system going on, but I try to read as many comments as I can in the chat and make it really like a, you know, a conversation, because that's the magic of streaming, right? Like if it was just like, you know, me presenting and you guys watching, then it's just like any other video, and that's great as well. But you know, the magic of the streams is that it's more of like a conversation. It's a dialogue. I can talk with you guys, and you know, you guys inspire, you know, what I talk about, and it helps me make good shorts for my videos as well. And I learn a lot as well. Like I learned so much from you guys. Like I just learned Aonori from Nora. You guys teach me so many things. So yeah, that's the magic of streams. So I'm glad it can feel like talking to a friend. Appreciate that, Tactical Cookie. And Jiru, time flies by. I can't believe a few years back I was watching your first video in the dark in my room. You made me want to come to Japan after politics and stuff happened in the US. I appreciate it. Yeah, and thanks for being a long-term supporter. A few years ago, you've been around since the beginning. And yeah, I mean, yeah, political situation, yeah, it's a little bit hectic in the States for sure. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, if you move to Japan, it's a lot more stable in that sense. But yeah, hopefully, I'm glad I could, you know, inspire your journey, and good for you for sticking with it for so long. It's awesome. Reasonable. We'll wait for that. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it. Thanks for the stream. Back to lurking. We'll chat again next month when I get the next membership update. No worries. Jonathan Japan, thanks for jumping out, and congrats again for the 3 months, and appreciate your support. I got your channel's free membership by YouTube. Yeah, you probably gifted the membership, probably by Neospatian, the major benefactor. Gotta reveal your skincare stuff, man. Your skin looks clean as fuck. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm working on it actually. I just started a new skincare routine, so I'll let you know how it turns out. I mean, the lighting does a lot for sure to make it like as beautiful as possible, but thank you. And I'll let you know if the new skincare routine works. And if it does, then I can let you know what I do. But with that being said, we're already 15 minutes over because of had so much fun talking to you guys in the chat. So we will wrap things up. But thank you again for all your great questions and your participation in chat, or even if you didn't ask a question or talk in chat, just for watching, even if you were quiet throughout. Appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel, whether it's through memberships or just through watching my content, watching my videos, the stream, whatever, whether it was for 2 minutes or the whole 2 hours. Really appreciate it. And hopefully next video will be out this week. I'm really excited to upload it. And yeah, again, let me know what you guys think of it. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the comment section of that before the next stream. It should be out next week. I'm really trying to get it out. So yeah, look forward to that. And thank you again. And in the meantime, happy studying and good luck with the studies or the Japanese travels or the prep to come to Japan, whatever it is. And I'll see you guys, hopefully not in the next stream, but the next video. All right. So take care, and Tokuyuu out.